Hey Tutorius, has anyone ever told you, I'm not addicted, I can stop whenever I want to?
Actually, they have, but that just makes me think, why not just stop now?
Exactly. Well, the addiction cycle is trickier than it seems. In fact, it may be completely out of their control. Why don't we do an experiment to take a look at this?
Sounds great.
First off, let's take a look at both nicotine and THC and get a better understanding of what these chemicals are.
But we should probably also take a look at how much of these chemicals are found inside and what their concentration levels are.
Yes, perfect. Then we can see how these products affect the brain and see if it's easier for someone to stop whenever or if it's harder than it seems.
Great, I can't wait to see what we find.
Let's get started. Okay, we need to first understand the two types of drugs that are commonly found inside of vapes, THC and nicotine. Nicotine is the main chemical found in tobacco and most vape products. That keeps people hooked. It's what causes addiction. Here's what happens inside the body. Outside the brain, nicotine makes the body release adrenaline. That's the stimulant that makes your heart beat faster and raises your blood pressure. In the brain, nicotine triggers a hormone called dopamine that gives the body a quick buzz of pleasure followed by energy, focus, and a calming feeling. Sounds good, right? But here's the trick. Nicotine is training the brain to want more and more of it. At first, one hit might feel like enough, but over time, the brain needs more nicotine just to get that same feeling. Now, let's switch gears and talk about THC, the main chemical in cannabis. THC, or tetrahydrocannabinol, is what gives people the high feeling. Just like nicotine, it changes the way the brain works. Here's what happens. THC connects to special receptors in your brain. This can mess with your memory, coordination, and how you make decisions. Some people feel relaxed or happy at first, but others can feel anxious, paranoid, or even panicked. Just like nicotine, THC tricks your brain into wanting more and more of it. Over time, THC and nicotine can affect how your brain develops, especially for teens, since our brains are still growing all the way up until about age 25. So, we know what nicotine and THC do inside the body and brain, but here's the next big question. How many chemicals are actually in the products people use today? The answer might surprise you, because the concentrations in modern vapes are way higher than what most people think. Let's break it down and compare. Let's start with nicotine. On average, one cigarette delivers 1 milligram of nicotine.
Now, that doesn't sound like much, but it's enough to get your brain hooked.
Now, take one of these packs, for example. In here are 20 cigarettes and 20 milligrams of nicotine.
And one pod like Juuls or Views has the same amount as these two packs.
But it does not stop there. Some modern disposable vapes, like one of these, have as much nicotine as 50 packs of cigarettes. And just to kind of get a visual aid of that, that's like 1,000 cigarettes in one device alone.
I mean, 50 packs in one vape. That's insane.
And here's the catch. Companies keep raising nicotine levels on purpose. The higher the concentration, the faster you get addicted to it, and the harder it is to quit. Now, let's talk about THC. Back in the 1990s, cannabis products usually had about 4% THC. Fast forward to today, the average is over 16%. That's 4 times stronger.
And some products like gummies and vapes can contain up to 90% THC.
That's not just stronger, that's extreme. High potency products can lead to more addiction and bigger health risks, especially for teens whose brains are still developing. So, whether it's nicotine or THC, the pattern is the exact same. These companies keep boosting the concentration levels so people get hooked faster and stay addicted even longer. Now, we are getting closer to possibly busting this myth, but I think we have some more evidence to share. We spoke earlier about the two chemicals and the effects they have on the brain, but what does that look like? Let's take a look at how these chemicals rewire a person's brain. These magnets represent the circuits in the brain, the parts that control things like reward, decision-making, memory, emotions, and survival. Normally, these circuits are spread out and balanced, helping people make good choices and feel reward for healthy things.
Like when listening to your favorite album, finishing a big project, or even just laughing with friends. The brain gives a natural, good job.
But nicotine and THC change that. Instead of waiting to earn a reward, they flood the brain with dopamine right away, like a shortcut to feeling good without doing the work. Each time someone uses it, the brain starts pulling these circuits closer together. The more often a person vapes, the stronger that pull gets.
And that's why people start choosing vaping over things they used to enjoy. Their brain is being tricked.
Over time, the brain circuits literally rewire themselves. The shortcuts become the main path. Suddenly, memory, focus, emotions, and decision-making are all affected. And for teens, it's even more serious because the brain is still developing until about age 25. That makes it easier to rewire the brains and even harder to undo. Eventually, the pull is so strong that everything locks together. That's addiction. Your brain pushes the body to keep using even when it knows it's doing damage.
And look how hard it is to pull them apart once they're stuck. That's what quitting feels like. The brain is fighting against itself. But notice, with some hard work and some support, the magnets can be separated. But it isn't easy, which is why it's best to never start.
So whether it's nicotine or THC, these substances don't just give a buzz, they rewire the brain.
These chemicals can make it extremely hard to quit. While some may believe it can be easy to quit whenever, they may not know what harm those substances have already done to their brains.
So, looking at the myth, I'm not addicted, I can stop whenever, evidence clearly shows that this myth is simply not true.
Which means
This
this
myth
myth is
is busted.
busted.